Hello and welcome to Mzansi Reality. We are back with, we cannot rest, we try to rest,
And then,
but it's not happening. You know what it is. So we always talk about things when they happen, and we only focus on that.
Yes.
Because we are only using what is given to us.
To us.
So today, Zandie Khumalo, the sister of Kelly Khumalo, happened to have an interview exclusively with the ENCA.
yes,
Now, there are many things to unpack there, just right there. Even though what we are given, we still feel that it is not enough. It is one of those, again, that shows that there is what we call an act or whatsoever that you might call it, of trying to let us sanitize ourselves, let us sanitize the Khumalos. And to me, it did look like that. The interview was more of sanitization of the Khumalo family. Again, and also pointing the fingers into a direction where we as the public opinion are supposed to look at, not to focus on the other people. Because, again, I repeat, for 8 years, nothing has been found on the Khumalo side and on the people that were in that room. Yeah. Now it's time, according to Zandi, for us to look at Senzo's mom and the wife, Makoti. And apparently there's this trito somewhere, somehow. That apparently was told by Senzo's mom, allegedly, was said by Senzo's mom, which we
watched the documentary, right?
Which we seemingly did not get, perhaps when it was playing. But then Zandi, because was very attentive in her watching that show, and
she even made
and
notes.
also making sure that this is what really we missed. Now she's pointing out the istrito, meaning that that istrito was supposed to work for Makoti Senzo and mom to actually make sure that Kelly goes away for good, I would assume, because that's what istrito is supposed to do, to make two people who are in a relationship hate
To
or
repel each
other. So now, I'm not gonna explain a lot because I'm not the one who explains here. I'm not the one who narrates here. I just
She
give
said
it
a
to
lot.
Emmy.
Girl said a lot in that interview, and I'm wondering if this will ultimately work in her favor or it's just misguided and misdirected. I don't know what the strategy is coming from the side of her family, but to me, it's like she worked overtime to try and point the direction somewhere else. And it felt like the aim of this interview was to point fingers somewhere else and remove the heat from themselves. It felt that way, in my opinion. Guys, welcome back to Mzansi Reality YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us again for yet another live stream where we get to talk about anything and everything that no one else wants to talk about. And in this instance, Zandie Khumalo just gave us an interview to talk about over there at ENCA, and she said a lot. She said a lot. I'm just going to briefly go through the entire interview and what was happening before. Yeah.
Please subscribe, guys, and share the video.
Yes.
We are doing what we do best.
Yes.
Do what you do best as our subscriber and as a family member. So, and we have membership, guys, for those who feel that we are working tirelessly to give you the best that we can. Join that membership. There is nothing better than being a member of this channel, because we are giving you what we think on our side is really the best that we could. Now, let us hit that like button. We are 47. I see only 9 likes for now. Hit that like button.
Press the like button.
And
it doesn't cost a thing. Just press that like button.
Those who missed the bell, those who got us by luck, by chance, subscribe and hit that bell.
Hit that bell.
And make sure that you are catching us live all the time we go live.
And
we know that
on
sometimes
all.
you are late, but remember, we have to get what we call this channel's evidence for public opinion. Because if we don't do that, we are going to give you content that has nothing. But the main important thing is not to do that. It's not to get you to watch nothing. Watch us and get something. And that's what we're doing here. Please make sure that you subscribe and tell your friends that we are live now. We are doing it. And I see 12 now. Emily, you can shoot.
Okay, guys, the first thing that they wrote down there, it's the beginning of the interview, and the highlight, it seems like I tried to keep him alive. That's what they wrote down there underneath. And she started off by putting a disclaimer out that, you know what, I'm not here to speak ill of anyone. I'm here to just shine the light on things that were happening behind the scenes that were never spoken about.
Wait, it seems as if every time someone says something like that, they mean the opposite. Because, there was punches there that were really hitting on Senzo's mom and the wife.
She did exactly the opposite.
So should we think that that's how they deal with things? Because even, who's this? Longwe.
Yes.
There was a point in that documentary where he emphasized that I was here in peace.
We remember. Guys, go
peace.
watch those videos that we did on the documentary. There is a lot that Mr. Anonymous analyzed, especially when it came to that part when Longwe was saying, I came in peace. Came in peace.
In pieces. Okay, right, shoot.
So yes, and she says that she wanted to also speak about some of the stuff that the country does not know about. To me, it gave me a feeling that Zandi is more concerned about the court of public opinion than she is about the actual court of law. And that to me is worrying, that you are worried over here to convince the public otherwise instead of exonerating yourself in a court of law. That to me was just like, yeah, okay, let me listen. Okay, so she says that their phones were taken the first time they were interrogated. She never really mentioned when the phones were brought back. However, she says that she and Longwe were the ones who were called for interrogation at the time. And she says that there was an interview going around and accusations over there at the Twitter streets that Longwe was the one who pulled the trigger. Right? And she says they were immediately called in at Pretoria CBD. At a police station there, and they were interrogated. They were not questioned. They were interrogated. And she's emphasizing that this is a different type of questioning, okay? It's not like asking you basic questions, where were you? No, it's interrogation. They were put in separate rooms and they had to be asked questions. And she said at where she was, there were 6 police officers. So she also said that in 2018, they were also asked to give statements. They were asked to give additional statements. It was around February. She says she remembers that because it was around the time that she released her album. And she says because she wanted to help. She went there with her pajamas.
Oh my God.
She's doing that long way thing, because we wanted to help.
Yeah.
I had to get up in my pajamas and go there straight with my pajamas.
Oh.
Yeah, and she says, let me check again. Guys, she had notes. She had a notebook that she was reading from, like I do over here.
You know the funny thing is, she had a notebook. The journalist had a notebook that looked blank. That looked blank. By the way, the same journalist that we are talking about is the journalist that has been covering this whole process, who was very, 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 very forthcoming, as we would say, when it was their first time of interview, sort of bulldozing and pushing towards aggressively and asking questions that were relevant. Now, when it came to this so-called exclusive interview that I wish it was on SABC, because I wish SABC would have done it because it would be different. It would be done so totally different because this journalist is so soft. I don't understand when it comes to the two. It's like they are chomies, they are buddies.
Buddy.
I'm not gonna ask you harsh stuff. I'm just gonna let you roll.
Cry.
I'm just gonna let you roll. Even though there were no tears, by the way, that I saw.
She tried
there
crying.
There were tears that we were wiping now and then.
There was no tears.
But I didn't see
there
any.
There were no tears. There were no tears at all. She tried crying.
I guess it was a dry season and
there were no tears.
It couldn't come out. But well, continue because I might be disturbing you. Continue.
No, you're not disturbing me. I'm very bothered as well by the journalist. She just said there. That interview felt like a story time on YouTube. I watch a lot of story time. She was given a platform to speak. It was like she could have just might as well done this on YouTube. She didn't need that journalist. That journalist maybe was not even supposed to be there. It just gave off that vibe. The only time I heard her speak was
Are you saying that it was supposed to be called Tell It All? And then
Tell It All. That was not an exclusive interview.
Just turn the mic on and turn everything on and then shoot. I'm not going to ask you questions. No. Say what you need to say.
No. Maybe she's banking on future. But I don't think there'll be any future because at this point, it seems like she was given a platform. There will be nothing else that she will come and maybe want to speak again. This was a platform. She did what she wanted to do and it's over. So I don't know what the strategy of the journalist is, but it just was very, very conflicting and confusing. So now Manje, she says that she kept, she said another thing or part of what the police made them do was role play. I don't know whether you heard that part of role play.
No, I heard it.
She says it was her and her sister and her mother. And the police had props and stuff to react what happened on that day. And she says that on that day they even went and waited at Mapiri's house.
There we go. Don't forget, don't get it wrong. We will remind you. Mapiri is the alleged cleaner of the house. Is the alleged cleaner of the house.
It's the one who's allegedly the one who cleaned up the house, the crime scene. She mopped, allegedly. According to the documentary, she mopped the house.
Yes.
So she says they were waiting there and then the police came and they were interrogated and she brought again another point of a lie detector test. She said that later on, around 2017, 2018, she's not sure, she was asked to go do a lie detector test. And she says they were never told the results of the test. They were never told how the test went, whether they passed or they failed. It just was next, and they were never informed of anything. So she says, this is the point where she brought up Mandisa. She says no one has ever looked at Mandisa's direction. The aim of the interview, it seems that it's to point the direction at Mandisa. This is where she says a lot of things. No one ever looked at Mandisa. She tried by all means. She even brought in Senzo's mother. She says Senzo's mother wayefunumuti. She went wahamba wayo toli isichitho.
And there's a specification of the muti type here. It is not just a muti of cleaning Senzo perhaps or anything that's as we could assume.
No, she's speaking
she was specific that it was a street. Perhaps because there's a neighbor who's a Sangoma, perhaps is the very same neighbor that was massaged by the police the whole night. And then after that, she eventually had to apologize to them. And well,
and then she alludes that the target here could not have been Senzo. It could have been her sister. To what length is Umama Senzo capable of going? If she can go there and go and ayothola isichitho. What is she capable of going? What
How
is she?
far did
How
she
far
go?
can she go?
No, not even how far can she. How far did she go? Because that's the question. How far did she go? Because if Iskrito, I would assume in this case, did not work as maybe I stand here. This is according to my view and my opinion, obviously,
Okay.
that perhaps Iskrito couldn't work. Then the assumption could be that how far did she go after that into tying that thing of making sure that they go their separate ways with their sister and how they were lovebirds, as they all
They
say.
loved
They
each
loved
other.
each other. They were so fond of each other. They were so close with each other. Well, continue.
Yeah, and she says that why are they looking at one direction for 8 years and they can see that in that direction akuphumi answer. There's no answer that they are getting. Why not look at other possibilities? That is very interesting. And then now the journalist asked about the second docket, whether she knew about the second docket. And she asked her, do you think that this whole thing is a farce? And Zandi uti, yes, according to her, it is a farce because she points at Advocate Defo. She's seeing it as a dramatic type of situation. She doesn't trust that man by far, is what she said.
I guess she probably would trust Mshololo
Yeah,
more
she
than
trusts
that man.
Mshololo.
Yeah, because
she even
Mshololo-
posted her on her
Mshololo-
Instagram.
Yeah, and Mshololo apparently can sing. I saw a video where they were singing as a choir and all that. There is a person who literally posts good things normally about the family on Twitter, and she's got a video of Mshololo, I think, and the team singing and all that. They had that fun time just singing in the court. It was, I think it was maybe after, I don't know which court was that one, but they were just enjoying themselves. Maybe it's after a victory and all that. But that being said, continue, because I'm just giving you the outside part of this case.
They ask about the witnesses, or not exactly the suspects that are currently arrested. And she's saying, she asks Uguti, do you recognize any of them? And she says that they were wearing masks, they had masks on. They can't identify any of them. And she says,
wait, there is an answer. Let us not rush. So, Kelly has been so wishing that they were called to ID these people.
yes.
Let us just overlook the fact that they haven't been called. Let us overlook the fact that they seem to have more opinion and be the more involved people. Perhaps the states should have organized the witnesses, or according to that, the family first, and then we go to the way in which the evidence was collected.
Yes.
And by the way, to put matters into perspective, the second document is 375. It's not second document, it is a first document. Just
Yeah,
a
it's the
correction
first
there,
document.
because it was
Docket.
asked by this journalist who was
Yeah,
enjoying and
it's not
smiling.
the second docket actually, it's the first docket.
Yeah, the journalist who was enjoying and smiling and enjoying this story time. But
Starstruck.
yes. As you can say, they had to now and then pop in the songs. How is your song doing? We are here to talk about Senzo, but the song must be
But your
embedded,
song.
because Aibo amakwela azokhala. Continue.
And she says that she can't say that there were 5 people because at the time only 2 people broke into the house. She says that she can't wait for her day in court. They've been telling the truth.
And that is
And
her.
she's saying that the kids are getting older. So now the kids, with them getting older, they are now going to look at the internet and find all of these things that they are being accused of.
Basically, that is her, in a sense, in talking about, what did she talk about? The kids, she talked about, so now they feel like they need to close this case.
Yeah.
Because the kids are growing. Their mothers have been dragged into this thing of Senzo Meyiwa, and eventually someone will tell them at their face if she hasn't or he hasn't done so
Already.
already. So those are the things that we have to look at. Well, the issue here is not about Senzo Meyiwa's family or Senzo Meyiwa's kid.
No.
It's all about them.
Yeah, it's them.
Them Khumalos.
Yeah.
Yes.
And protecting themselves.
Saying whatever that they need to say. I wouldn't say they are protecting themselves. Maybe they are telling the truth.
Yeah.
Finish your story.
Okay, she says she thought that they'd be the first people to testify. She thought that they were the ones that were supposed to be called in first.
I can agree with
before
that.
they call advocate. Bathu bani umusia. Yeah.
I can agree with him.
And she defends her sister. She defended her sister there, and she said Senzo and Kelly were very much in love. If there was someone who knew Senzo's whereabouts, it would be Kelly at the time.
Do you
If
blame
she
English
wanted
there?
to kill him.
Do you blame English there?
No, I think she meant it.
That the only person who knew Senzo's whereabouts is
Kelly. She knew.
Yet
she
you
meant
bring
it.
Mandisa into all this nervous them. Okay.
If she wanted him dead, she wouldn't have done it in her home, according to Zandi. So they then asked about her post. She said in her post on Instagram, she doesn't speak on family affairs in public. She was defending herself. This is in regard to that post on Instagram that she made when they allegedly fought with her sister, Kelly. There's this long open letter that she did, you guys. We even dissected it at some point on the channel. She is speaking with regards to that open letter, and she's saying no. At the time, she was defending herself.
Are we bringing that part that we need? We're not going to maybe indulge in all
No,
of
we're not
it.
going to indulge in all of it, but there's a very interesting quote that came from that letter. Let me look for it. Yeah, here it is.
We don't want to be repetitive. We're just going
we're just going to extract this information. And I saw that it's making the rounds on Twitter. People are putting in quotations coming from the letter. Today I am known as an accessory to murder because of her.
That is a sister.
End quote.
End quote. That's it. Now read, and you just hold it like that and continue reading.
Yeah. And then she also says, ukuthi bangenelwe. They are not the perpetrators, bangenelwe. So uthi Senzo's friends Umthogo no Tumelo were there, and she also brought in more information saying that Tumelo was supposed to be umkhongi.
Aibo.
Senzo was going to pay lobola to
know-
Zandie Khumalo, and Tumelo was going to be one of the people that would accompany Senzo to do that.
Now, you know, when she said that, I thought I was dreaming, you know. So the first thing I did is to go to my Netflix. Luckily,
Okay.
I haven't. I still pay my subscription.
Okay.
And then I check the documentary. It is documentary 3, where Tumelo is talking, like crying in a sense, saying that Senzo, I could not work, so Senzo would actually give me some money, so he put money for me to come and visit. And then I was looking for this part of lobola, you know, like Senzo put money for me to come and negotiate and all that.
Yeah.
But it didn't come out, considering that apparently it was the first time when they met Tumelo.
Yes.
Which is a very, I think, a good thing that it was the first time we would on a good day, would have relied to Tumelo to tell the truth. But,
Yes.
well, Tumelo's truth is the gospel truth in this case, that perhaps most of people are not satisfied with, because it does kind of sing the same tune, even though there are differences, because wait for them. They will come. But what I'm saying is that on that documentary, after a long interview with Tumelo, there is no part where Tumelo is mentioning that Senzo was going to actually initiate the lobolas with the Khumalos and all that. It was never mentioned by Tumelo himself. I can guarantee you'd watch all the 5. It was never
Any
mentioned.
of the people on the documentary never mentioned anything about lobola.
No, it is new. It's new information.
It's new information.
It's a dendoram. We are adding on the.
What's in a dondoram? It's an add-on.
Yeah, we are adding on things that are existing already. We are adding in this mist of a case, but.
And from my memory of the documentary, how Tumelo was describing his visit, it didn't sound like he was there for anything in particular. He was there to visit Senzo, to have a good time. It did not sound like there was actually a serious matter.
How about the issue that everyone claims that this man that we're talking about, which is Senzo Meyiwa, may his soul rest in peace, our hero. How about we the fact that I'm hearing that Kelly Senzo died in Kelly's hands. Zandi today also.
She says
it finished. So as Tumelo, 3 of them.
Okay, Tumelo said that he was in the car when they were driving Senzo to the hospital.
He could see.
He could see him as he lost his breath.
Yes.
Right? And then Zandi today said something that shooketh me. Uthi, she was holding Senzo in the car, right? And she was putting pressure on the wound. So now she's painting or alluding to the fact that she said Senzo was turning cold from the feet to the upper body. So she's alluding that he passed on in her arms. So this time round, Zandi saying that Senzo passed on in her arms.
According to me, he couldn't say whether it was in a car that Senzo passed away
or in
the
hospital,
but kind of leaned towards Senzo passing in a car. So Zandi could feel the legs cold.
But yes, she was putting pressure on the wound.
Yes, and Senzo didn't have a t-shirt. So I'm just trying to create this story for you so that you see it. So Zandi putting the wound, the hand in the wound, just keeping pressure there. And then
she also felt Senzo's feet as they turned cold. And she felt the coldness as it went to the upper body.
Kelly could have been driving at the time, or could also be
there
holding
helping
Senzo, because that's how it is. This story is so very, very, very. It has pieces, but it's one person. You would swear it's like 3 people that we are talking about that were in the car and about to pass away or passing away. We are talking about one person. Everyone is claiming that my hands. There's only one person, or maybe 3 that were in the house, 3 or 4, I don't know, that couldn't claim that. But actually, 3 has already claimed that it was in my hands. So all of them.
And remember that, is it Market Theatre or whatever, that recording of Kelly describing, and she said that he passed away in the hospital.
And he saw everything changing and all that. That's another part. She also explained what was happening during this process of Senzo until the last part.
He turned blue or something like that.
Yeah. We are not making these things up.
No, we're not making them up, guys. So those of us who've watched the documentary or watched our analysis on the documentary know what we're talking about.
I feel like I'm dreaming, It's like sometimes when we are saying these things, it's
I feel like I was being directed to think, like, to erase the documentary.
Guys,
in my mind.
I said this thing. I don't know if you remember on one of the reviews that when they talked about the mastermind, this case was almost, I don't know what disturbed it, was almost moving to the direction of Mandisa as the mastermind. And I said this. Now I'm happy that today someone came out and said, let us look at Mandisa and all that. This case was, if you look at that documentary and you really follow it with this 636,
it was
going to the direction of a mastermind, and it was not gonna perhaps, that's according to me, exonerate Mandisa in this case. I'm telling you, that's my feeling. That's my feeling. I felt like this case was shooting
You
straight.
did say it.
It was like it was done. I don't know what disturbed it. Whatever that
Something
disturbed it,
happened.
that
It
now
just-
we are here where even the mastermind is not being mentioned that much, yet is there according to the
And
documents and all that.
Advocate D4 keeps mentioning Brigadier Gininda and all the allegations. So it's very, very weird. But anyway, we move. And remember, Kelly said last week, right, that I don't know whether she said it in a show or wherever she said it. She said that she was supporting Senzo, right? She was supporting Senzo. The family doesn't even know that the money that Senzo would send to them was her money.
Yeah, that's why.
But then Senzo was there arranging lobola. Njani?
So I guess in this case, Kelly was gonna cough up maybe because in this
So
case,
she was gonna pay for her own lobola.
I don't know. I'm just thinking because I mean the money was being finished by the family, so Kelly would assist now and then. So in this case, because maybe of love, it could have been that maybe Kelly was gonna say, Senzo, you might as well pay my lobola. Here's the stuff. Because I mean, in any case, Senzo was nobody according to Kelly
According to her.
until he was associated
With the brand Zandie Khumalo.
Khumalo.
Yes.
The only thing we can be grateful of is that we didn't hear that voice from her sister. Well, what we saw is that her sister should never try to be on TV in trying to act or doing anything because the tears are very far from coming when you need them. Do you understand? That's all I can advise in terms of acting. I don't think you should go to that direction because, the tears are really difficult to come forth when you need one.
Yeah, she tried forcing them again on this part of the interview. She tried to cry. She tried to force them tears. Them tears were not showing up, not even one tear. But she said, well, Senzo's family, she's hoping that they will find the answers that they need. It's not easy for a parent to lose a child.
Listen to this contradiction. After you said that they should look at Senzo's mat, perhaps then you shouldn't have said that statement because already then if in your side on your side you feel that if they look to Senzo's matter they could probably find something allegedly, then you shouldn't be saying that because perhaps they have the answers.
You should look at Senzo's. She's also a parent now. She's a mother now, and she could not even imagine how it would be like if anything were to happen to her son. Hopefully, they find a way to move forward.
This is what we call sanitization. You sanitize everything that you can to change the scenario. Guys, press that subscribe. As we are busy with that subscribe button, press that like button. I'm monitoring that on my side. Emily, keep on going.
She says she's also bothered by the fact that the investigators have been fishing in one pond for 8 years and they still have no answers and continue to fish. Yena lo Mandisa magabuzwe akabuzwe yini yena umama kaSenzo naye magabuzwe. So she's literally pointing the direction of umama kaSenzo and Mandisa. And she also says that she is very much apologetic to all the neighbors that were implicated. She mentions Nomzamo. At Nomzamo, where they used to live, she mentions Masangweni.
Yeah.
Now, Masangweni, guys, is the Sangoma. Remember, there is a part in the documentary where they were speaking about a Sangoma who had allegedly cleansed them in the early hours, 5 a.m. in the morning, and that very same Sangoma was beaten. There were people that came that looked like cops and beat her up, according to Mzilikazi on the documentary.
And she wouldn't budge, according to Zandi.
According to Zandi, she's saying it's actually the police that fetched her and she was beaten. Now
that is very interesting because if Zandi is alluding that these are the police indeed, then can we have the badges of these people so that we know what this woman really confessed in the house? Because, I mean, the case is opening up.
Yes.
You guys can really complain about everything that is happening. I think as much as Tifo might be debarred, according to what I'm looking, allegedly, the direction is going that way. I think he ruffled the feathers. He did make sure that the wounds are left open so that everyone can pour salt. So be it Twitter, be it a new lawyer, if it's gonna be there, and if it's not there, the case is doomed either way. If the lawyer is not there to present them, the four accused, the case is doomed because we're still gonna look how they are arrested. On what basis are they arrested? If Zandi can literally say that I cannot identify these people because half of the time, by the way, is also meaning that half of the time they were wearing a mask and the other time they were not wearing the mask. So in that on its own, then it should say that you are in a position of seeing them when they are not wearing the mask. But in any case, we're not here to deal with that. I'm just giving you and trying to break down this English that was not born with us. Well, if you say half of the time they were wearing a mask, that means half of the time they were not wearing a mask.
I even missed that. Did she say half of the time they were wearing a mask?
So put allegedly.
Allegedly. So yeah, she's saying sorry to those neighbors. Bega shame on the neighbor, saying apologizing, feeling sorry. And it made me wonder if any of the witnesses, are they the witnesses? Is there witness amongst those neighbors? I became curious
Maybe
when
therefore
she said
played
that.
the ball in the wrong direction. It could be that there is one person there who's willing to sing like a bird, but is not a boy, as not a man, as therefore mentioned. It could be just, it's the truth, but a bit of flip side of it. I'm just saying.
Allegedly. So, with regards to the crime scene being tampered with, this is where the journalist let me down.
No, journalist let me down all the way till the end, until the song.
She was saying, Zandi, the house was so full, the house was packed. Beguno brigadiers banban.
Didn't even mention the name, by the way. The only name that she could remember is Brigadier.
They did not tamper with the crime scene. She's the one who actually fetched Mapiri, and the others, Togo, Tumelo, and Kelly, were helping carry Senzo into the car. She was the one putting pressure on the wound, and Senzo was getting cold from the foot to the upper body. So she wishes that what do you wish you could have done on that day? Do you still have regrets? And she says she wishes that she had a knife, or she could have thought of a knife. She wishes she could have done something. As a woman, you can be very useful in the kitchen.
They say you know the kitchen better.
Yeah.
But that day, literally, she became like a man in the sense of not knowing the kitchen better, because all she wished is that maybe she could have taken a knife and then maybe she could have done something, a knife and done something. Maybe if it was one person, but if it was two people, according to what we heard from Long, with guns, both of them, I don't know if really you would have done that in any case. But you could have taken a knife. Sometimes they tell the stories like, the way they tell the stories like one person, if I took the knife, maybe I could have saved the guy. And obviously, if you step one guy and you step in the right direction, in the right position, that guy, then obviously you've disarmed the guy. But if it's two people, as you said, keep on insisting on two people.
Yeah.
By the way, we're seeing 5 people in that podium.
In the court, yeah.
In the court.
We are seeing 5
and
people.
She also mentioned that she's surprised to see 5 people. So, how is she going to identify 5 people that she's even surprised to see?
I don't know.
She mentioned the issue of dreadlocks.
And they were wearing balaclavas.
And one guy, just to put matters into ease, one guy apparently cut the dreadlocks a long time ago, but at some point he had them, I think.
She's even saying that they gained weight.
They could have gained weight by now, could not see them, because apparently what I'm gathering there is that he doesn't even see one of them because everything has changed. Now, 5 people are being persecuted as we speak. And Kelly can only point to
Zandi.
Zandi. So they can only point to.
Yes.
That being said, that's the end of the story.
Yeah, that was literally what was in that interview today. If you guys missed it, hopefully that explains. There's only really 2 highlights. And why do I say that this journalist let me down? She let me down because this was an opportunity to ask, was the house cleaned? You are saying there's an allegation of tampering with evidence and that the fact that the house was mopped.
Yes.
Was it mopped? Who mopped the house?
Yes.
This is what a journalist, I'm expecting should do. But lwasisi wavele wayeka nje wayihlalela nje walalela nje.
Wasmile.
She did what I do every day. We just listen and we sit and we listen.
Well, guys, let us hear some of the highlights.
Yeah, let's hear some of the highlights, guys.
We wouldn't leave you out.
No, let's play this clip and let's have you watch what took place on that interview.
Let's go. It might be Emily. It might be a hiccup. I'm not even sure if. Oh, it's me, guys. It's me.
Okay, what's the hiccup?
Situation. Makuthiwa khona umuntu oshonile endlini and umyeni kamuntu or boyfriend yomuntu. The first suspect would be obviously maybe the girlfriend or the wife. Ne? And in all of this, thina silandiwe formalite detector test, thina senzani, but no one has ever looked at uMandisa. No one. Thina wethu amafoni ayathathwa. Mandisa ifoni ayithathwa ngani? uMandisa ka-investigatewa ngani? Not so long ago, Senzo said on national television ukuthi she tried by all means to make sure ukuthi umshado kaKelly noSenzo does not happen, or amalobolo does not happen. Wahamba wayofuna umuntu wesichitho. So my question is, kuleyo Senzo leso, to what length did she go to make sure this does not happen? Is it even possible that maybe yena nomalokazana wakhe baletha abantu not necessarily to target uSenzo but to target uKelly to make sure that this does not happen? And also one of my other concerns is that the police are just fishing in one pond. Why can't we look at other avenues? Because sina 8 years manje siqulana naleli licala, but wonke umuntu ubheke in one direction. And aphumi answer kulo direction esibheke. Why can't we look at other people, look at other possible...
Here we go. The message is look to other directions, because if you have done your investigation and you have not really found anything, you are not finding anything, police, look
the other way.
The other way. Please. Please. We cannot have you looking at one people. Please look the other way. That is the story of today. That look the other way. We are done. We have done all we can. We have walked in your police station while wearing pajamas. We have been trying to help, to assist all we can.
We have been cooperative.
Nothing is coming. Basically, we've been forthcoming to you guys. Please look some other direction. Look somewhere. What about Senzo's mother? What about Senzo's wife? If the mother can go and fetch his chito.
And this chito situation, let us talk about it. It was never, that's not what, from my remembrance, that's not what I heard in the documentary.
No, it was never mentioned. It was never mentioned. So there are 2 ways this thing can happen. You can either use this chito and separate 2 people.
Yeah.
Or if you believe that someone has eaten something, there's something inside that person, which is what Maga Senzo alluded to.
Yes.
Then you don't use Discretion in that case because it's not going to work. You clean that person, you take that thing out, you find ways of, come here, let me do things to you. You do things, or you do things the way you want to do them, even if you have to put something on their food so that that thing can really disappear or die, so that that hold can die, because if ikunentando ngaphakathi, it will die because of what you use. Maybe we decide to amafutha engwenya faka la, and then it kills all these things inside so that that person's eyes can open. So you can use Discretion versus intando if the belief was that Senzo had eaten intando. In this case, which is more what you would lean towards to, because the mother was talking about Senzo not being himself, and everyone was talking about Senzo not being himself. So, in a sense, that's like allegedly there might have been a third hand of intando. So you are not going to use Discretion in that case. Use Discretion when people love each other naturally.
And you just want to interrupt.
And you just want to interrupt that whole process so that one looks like a frog, and then the other one hates or feels that, oh, how did I date this person? And that's a different situation.
Sometimes they smell. You make them to smell. You know.
So, well, Discretion is just a light side of things, because Discretion can easily get rid of. It can start today, tomorrow it's done, because you can just go and get some proper cleansing very fast, and you're back. Just takes a bit of
Very
steaming
interesting.
and all that, and you are back into your game.
Because now what I heard was the battle of ancestors. That's what I heard Mama Senzo talking about. The fact that she needed to bring Senzo back into their ancestors. That's the kind of fight I fought. Manje mase faga nestrito uzithathapi. Were we watching the same documentary?
We were. I can go back and watch it again, but there's no
Hayibo, isichitho manje singena kanjani? How did you know? How do you have access to that information, Zandi? We would like to know. That is very interesting.
No, that's what happens when you're trying to justify certain things. You end up putting words in people's mouth, and I can literally say that there was no street words that was used on the document. And you don't use the street kumuntu samthandayo as a parent. You don't do that, because that can go with the person to
That's
everywhere,
like you
even
creating
to work.
a war within your ancestors.
Even Discretion. What I'm trying to say about Discretion is not going to be exclusive to that person only. A lot of time, even at work, that person, even at work, that person can look like the way the girlfriend is looking at, and then the manager fires that person. So I don't think as a parent you would resort to Discretion very quickly. There are other measures of our ways of doing things that you would use as a parent, because you don't want to kill the career of your kid. More so if you are going to cry about who's going to feed you after that, as Kelly alluded in that interview. So I doubt that there would be such. Do you understand? You use Discretion to someone you don't want in your life, because nagwena ngeze benja, and eventually makasusa Discretion, what will happen is that the eyes will be open phela uzobuyela futhi kuKelly if it was natural.
It was natural love.
So look, even if you look at it in a,
it's one thing to try and paint a narrative. It will take a lot now, because information is available. Maybe if we did not see the documentary, we would be like,
yeah, that's the side of the story that we've been waiting for.
You know,
but all of a sudden,
the problem here is that we saw the testimony of somebody else prior. Before you said anything, you didn't want to talk. For 8 years, you were quiet. So you didn't want to say anything. You said you were cooperative and whatnot, but still, the investigators did not get anything out of you.
Nothing. as you say, also that there's
Yeah.
nothing. Please look the other way.
So now you want to come and paint another narrative to try and eliminate the narrative that people already have.
There were a lot of questions that
It's-
this journalist could have asked. Did they clean the room? Yes or no? They didn't clean the room. Yes, they cleaned the room. Yes, they didn't clean the room. Do you understand? There are a lot of things that we could have asked. Did you date, who's this boy?
Longwe,
No, Longwe. And then did you date?
did you have any relations with Mtogo?
Stuff like that. That's all we are waiting
On
for.
that day, was Longwe there with you guys the whole day, or did he arrive like later? You know, on the documentary,
What was Longwe's state of mind when he came in?
When he
according
came
to
in,
you? Was
according
he
to you,
angry? Was he
was he
friendly? Was he
happy?
happy?
Kodwa ushilo athi bebajabulile. They
You
were
understand?
happy. So was Longwe also as happy as you guys were on that day? You know, questions, very important questions. Another question that I would have liked her to ask is with regards to this relation with Mtogo. It is alleged on the documentary that you guys had
flirting.
one bedroom apartment, Diaga Senzo, that you would do sleepovers at. And it has been alleged that that apartment had one bedroom and you, Kelly and Senzo would sleep in the other bedroom and you would sleep somewhere else. Were you with Mtogo in that somewhere else where you guys would make sleeping arrangements? Was Longwe not bothered by that?
Stuff like that, you know.
Stuff like that.
That shows that you mean the business. You are at work.
You are taking your job serious.
It's not
You are a journalist.
a friendly coffee meeting where ruffle the feathers as a journalist. Make your way. Like, I wish the woman who's covering this story, I don't know her name, she's light.
Criselda Lewis.
I wish Criselda can have this interview.
I
wanna see
also
something.
yearned for the same thing. So, Zandi, if you really want to convince us, take Criselda Lewis interview.
Exactly. Or take us, man. Take us. We're here. Take us, but well, we'll do it on Zoom.
Tina will do it on Zoom. We don't
Zoom.
have resources.
No. We're gonna Zoom.
We don't have resources.
No,
but
no.
Take it with Criselda over there, the SABC. I want to see something. Because this one felt like a YouTube story time video. It did not feel like an exclusive interview. Do you remember Gayle King with R. Kelly?
Yeah, I remember.
Gayle King did another one with Megan Thee Stallion.
We are in the middle of war here. We
You're
want...
not fighting. You are asking questions.
We-
you are doing your job.
Yes.
Being a journalist is asking questions that the people have.
We need you to say things that we've been asking. There are Twitters to help you if you cannot.
If you
prepare.
cannot.
There are people there
You
who
just
are
go
asking relevant
hashtag,
questions. Yes.
hashtag. And then when she mentioned that part about her not being able to speak about the feuds she has with her family, you would be having a copy of that open letter she wrote to her sister, right? Highlighted with notes and asking her, but in the open letter you said, you made me an accessory to murder, end quote, and I quote.
Why did you say that?
But what did you mean by that? What did you mean by that? She was not prepared at all. I am so disappointed with ENCA.
And ENCA, in any case, I'm not going to say more because ENCA, for me, they have this way of, for me, it's not my favorite channel, but, well, it can be someone's favorite
And they
channel.
always get these exclusives. That's what upsets me with them. What is the point of them? It's like you're giving somebody a platform to just spin a narrative. You are not actually doing your job by interviewing a person. What is the point of journalists? You should have might as well just gave Zandi the camera and shoot her by herself. There was no need for that journalist to be there. And that is upsetting.
Yeah, can you read the comments?
So Azani Amkhosa utimolweni noluthando masondo sanibonani xoleka mkhwangana. Hello family, sikhulile Dlomo. Hello guys. Our Lady of Fatima sanibonani, finally catching a live show. So excited.
Please subscribe, guys.
Please subscribe guys and like the video.
Like the video.
Like the video,
Like the
please.
video. Subscribe.
Ne?
Like the video. Subscribe.
And Mpomashile, our member, says, Molweni, guys. Hi, Mpo. Hi, how are you? And Mtandazo Mhluzi, Molweni, how to become a member. Okay, Mtandazo Mhluzi, to become a member, there is, subscribe first. After subscribing, pressing the subscribe button, there's a join button underneath subscribe. So press that button and choose the package that you would prefer, to join. And then the rest, follow the steps.
Yes.
It's very simple. It's not complicated at all. Just first subscribe, then you will see that join button. If you're not subscribed, you won't see that join button.
Or perhaps you can see it. But
Can you see it?
I'm not sure, but yeah, just to be safe, you can join, obviously, without being subscribed.
Yeah.
So join, be a subscriber and join.
Okay, let me try.
Because I'm not sure if really...
it's still there. Yeah. Even if you're unsubscribed, it's still there. There's a button next to subscribe. It's join. Press that join button.
Yes.
And follow the instructions from then on. It's not going to waste your time. It's actually very simple. And then where was I?
Fear. Because I've tested it myself. I created it. I've tested it myself.
Yeah.
They're obviously gonna ask you about your details.
Yeah,
we don't see your details.
We don't see them.
This is for
they are with
this is
YouTube.
A story with YouTube overseas.
We don't see them
and
at all.
And then you choose your packet. They will take that amount that you said they must take. That's it.
Nothing more.
It's like subscribing. It's a subscription of a DSTV. If you are on debit, obviously it pulls like mine. It pulls on the monthly basis. That amount that you chose. Anything else it will be what you give us out of your will and say, guys, we are doing a great contest today. Let me just give you R1, for example.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
There's also super chats that we've activated, you guys. So if you feel like, let me hoy in something, these people are working so hard. Hoy it in. Don't be shy. We really appreciate it, okay?
Because there are some content that we'll be doing and we won't be able to monetize it because of the content nature.
Yeah, it's very controversial.
That is why when we say we would do such for members, it would be for members only because we can't do it for everyone because we're not going to monetize it in any case.
Yeah, so getting king.
Yeah.
So yeah, and where was I? Azania Mxhosa. Hey, the disrespect from these Khumalo sisters is something else. Meloti says, yes, I'm Eli. Tobile Mkhize, hello family. You are so informative, guys. Meloti says, +3. Thomas Lucas says, today I came early. Minentle Hlope. Sanbonani, guys. Mudiehi. Hi, guys. Oops, I'm late. Mudiehi also says, oh, that journalist annoyed me. No probing at all, right? Azania Mxhosa, the tear that couldn't. Hey, Nina.
It couldn't come out.
That makeup will just be a tear there.
Couldn't come out.
Kolega says, this Khumalo family, you are annoying. Thomas Lucas being a dry tears. At least she could have given us crocodile tears. Yes, the cleaner. Thomas Lucas has the one tear emojis. Mpomashi, let me nentle. Okay, Mpo, busy mo chat mo wajola. Mutiehi mukwena. Zandi is basically saying to us, Senzo's mom and Mandisa could be the killers. If so, why did they clean the crime scene and ever-changing stories? Exactly.
Yeah.
Why clean the crime scene if you are not, why clean the crime scene if you strongly believe that there was somebody who organized this crime? Why did you clean the crime scene? Because you just made the case difficult to solve. That's very, very interesting. Ezinohlonze amakhwela hey azaso kwenza
we are not even gonna advertise nje.
There's nothing.
That's what
on
was
that
done
song.
on that ENCA.
They know. I'm not advertising songs without getting something. Okay, it's an exchange. Zandi needed that platform as much as they needed that interview, and they let her take over.
Let's go past it.
So Mutiehi Mukwena, I wonder how does Mtoko, Senzo's friend, feel about this interview because he is close to Mandisa. How does he feel? Siyabonga Mguguto, why are they talking when Tifo is not around? They think Tifo sits back is the win. Wait till he comes back. And Azanyam Khosa says, this is sad and infuriating at the same time. Why is she so comfortable speaking out now that Advocate Tifo is no longer handling this case? A very good question. Bekate tu akhuluma ngama Instagram post. Ezino Clonze. I'm scared, Siyabonga, this is gonna come with fire. Melody, maybe Senzo Meyiwa's mom indeed hit Kelly with Strito. Poor girl had bad since the
What?
Hi, Melody. Hi, Melody.
Whoa.
You're out of order.
No, it's not out of order. So, because this thing, whatever it is, has been there for long. I mean, if you look at the history of the person in question, from the people that she has
Dated before Senzo.
So, I mean, honestly speaking, come on.
Have we forgotten what happened to Juju?
I'm not even gonna go further. I'll just give you that background. Continue reading the comments.
Minentle Shope, Zandi is a liar. Oh, Ezino Chlonze actually answered Melody. Ezino Chlonze says, but she had bad luck from before. Exactly. And Minentle Shope, Zandi is a liar. She's the same person who lied to Senzo's cousin about what took place in that house. He had to take matters into his own hands, allegedly.
Yeah.
And Pumla Kadushe, Haini Betuna, I give up the audacity, guysini. And Mutie, he says, it's so amazing that the three guys that were in the house are not doing media interviews. Kelly and Zandi are hell-bent on protecting themselves. Dikoliza SKK, why is Zandi talking now? They heard that Tifo is coming after them. Azania says, I want Senzo's family to speak out and fight, man. Them being quiet is giving these Khumalo sisters ammunition to do as they please. Azania, you know what the tricky thing with court cases and whatnot? It's almost like you're giving your hand. I don't know if these interviews are smart.
And they don't have lawyers, if Senzo's family.
They don't have expensive lawyers.
Have someone to guide
they
you.
wouldn't even have media training to do the interview.
No,
you understand?
Zandi
got media training for that thing. She even had notes. She was looking at a notebook. They were coaching her, maybe for the whole day, allegedly.
Yes.
So Senzo's family doesn't have that media training. So it becomes quite challenging. But I'm sure we've seen Fiso quite a lot, and he's trying his best to speak on behalf of the family. So, hey, it's a tricky situation. Miss Mbali says, okay, so where was I?
I don't know.
Yes, Diko Lisa says, give them a platform. Azania, give them a platform. Minentle Shope, they are trying to revive their dead careers. Miss Bali says, Sabetelwa Tina Bagiti Mandisa ungena pila ya beta loyos koteni skuzwe bona bonke aba sendlini, including Loktiwa use rehab. Siyabonga says, lobola kanjani. Zandi was a one-night stand. No Kelly till kufika indoda yakhe. Why no one didn't know about the lobola? Even his teammates didn't know. Allegedly. Guys, I love. Guys, you guys are funny. You guys are so hilarious. Dikolosa says, before I leave, let me say, Emily, you look Super yummy. Ah, thank you. Siyabonga Mgugudo. I wish Senzo's wife can now go to SABC to speak the real truth of what happened that day.
How can she?
I mean, I don't blame Mandisa. I don't blame her. I don't blame her. This is too much. This is too much. Like, it's too big. It's I don't blame her at all. So Lucia Matsabe, this journalist called Lindelo must stop with this Khumalo interviews. She's boring. She's not even asking relevant questions. She must leave that to Griselda Lewis. Elizabeth Baloy, where can I find the interview? Well, the interview was on the TV.
And I think it's going to take time. If they're
probably going to upload it tomorrow.
Cut it in pieces, though.
Yeah, they're going to cut it in pieces.
They're not going to just give you the full thing.
Maybe bangayifaka, maybe ngeke we'll never know.
Considering that is trending number 1 on Twitter, it might be even later than tomorrow.
Yeah. Siyabonga Mgugudo, when we lobola kuhamba abomalume. Exactly. I remember back in the day when the 2 sisters attacked Mandisa on the side of the road. Lucia Matsabe, so Mandisa sent thugs to kill Senzo and clean the floor. Zandi is a liar, man. Allegedly. Azani yamxhosa andizokulala kakuhle ile clip. Our Lady Fatima says, thanks for this review. I missed the interview and I'm glad I did. Fifi Ngwenya Dumelang, Our Lady Fatima. Hi, Fifi. Our Lady Fatima says, Jub gave us the hints on McGee's interview. And Tuli Tools, the moment Advocate Tifo says he wants to concentrate on the docket implicating them, they are panicking. Let's wait and see. Tuli Tools, Our Lady of Fatima, you are right. Sizakele ha Jesu agaba caba
Jesu akacabanga kahle lo sisi akacabanganga
kahle. Bongi Manqela, member. Hi Bongi. Evening family, I'm late. Bongi Manqela says, I'm not happy with the journalist that was interviewing. She didn't ask the correct questions. 1, if you claim that you were not involved, why did you clean the scene? And Miss Boli iyona ke leyo lezinto enizibuzayo Longwe Mthogo and Zandile lapho nje bafowethu. Bongi Manqele says sizomqaqa aze azisole ukuthi ubekhulumelani. Siyabonga Mgugudo, this case is on Mshololo's hands. I so wish she can snitch Uzandi specifically for contradicting herself. Mina Ndlehlophe, siya advocate Mshololo is no good. Our Lady Fatima, I don't see that happening, siya, sadly. Pila Tiba, don't talk like that about my sister, please. Siyabonga Mgugu, that Mina Ndlehlophe, but she and the judge conclude the case at the end of the day. Nan Pinky Martinise, Bayahlanya Labusisi from the Spaza shop, all of them, Senzo Spirit is after them.
Yeah, sivala kanjalo. Guys, just one caller, if you
if you are available. As we wait for your call, Mr. Anonymous, that whole SABC come before a forum type of situation that they held for Advocate Tifo. How did you feel about it?
No, I feel like that's how they try to push your buttons. Tifo obviously is under search. We must also give him a bit of prayer to say that you fought the fight, and we appreciate you. We hope that you keep your everything. We just hope, because you need to practice for
keep your career.
Considering that you are doing this case out of
family.
will, nothing else, but you having that heart of trying to seek for justice. I hope that you are exonerated for that. Eventually someone comes and then also take over from you, and eventually the case becomes what you were predicting when you started taking the case. Because whatever that was happening on that interview is what you expect. You can go to all these channels, I'm telling you, It's going to be attacks after attacks. The clever blacks who were quiet when you were arrested in the court.
In front
no one
judge.
said anything. Now they are going to cut the line of law from the beginning to the bottom, applying the nonsense of labor law or what
Court Condura.
there's I don't know, they've got a lot of things that they can apply these people, but these people are people who failed to defend you when you were under search, arrested in the court of law. They failed to defend you. They failed to say things. They were quiet. All of them, the clever blacks.
They were scared.
Now today that you said this is bullshit.
This is a effed up situation. They all want to come at you. Hey, Benigupi, while he was busy being there, harassed, dragged out of court. What
Nobody
was
said
happening?
anything.
Nobody was saying anything. That
Nobody
is the twisted thing about this whole people coming out of the holes when it's time to persecute or advocate for. Where were you? Were you not watching the case as the judge was busy there, pressing, pushing, making him
Even
angry?
saying that you don't know where you studied, was it night or day?
You don't say such things
Don't
as a
say
judge.
that such thing as a judge. As an old man.
Where were you? Why were you quiet on those specific days when we were out here going live and complaining? We were even gentle on that judge. We were gentle. We were hoping that some of you would say something. Nobody was saying anything. Now you're
coming for death. So I don't see his
why
blood.
were you quiet all along? I feel like that's a question I have.
The clever blacks. They are like that. They want you when you are wounded. Then they come and take glory. They call them.
A whole advocate was dragged out of court in front of a judge.
And nobody said anything
law
about their laws.
No one said anything.
Nobody said anything
They
about
co-signed that.
Dutch
They co-signed
Roman law.
it. They said that by saying quiet, by basically saying anything, you drove Defo to do what he was doing.
defend himself.
And he
as a
is
person.
proving a point to the rest of us who know nothing about the law, that this law is not what it seems.
Bad. This Dutch
It's not
Roman
what
law.
it seems.
This Dutch
unfortunately.
Roman law that you clever blacks who are educated
It's not for
are
us.
failing to change it.
It's for the rich and for whoever can afford.
You are failing to change it. You are failing, yet you are defending it on TV.
I'm very surprised. There's many lawyers that are popping up and have something to say. They are shocking me. I'm like, where were you guys when that whole thing, intimidation, was happening with him being arrested in court? Where were you?
They
Why were
must
you
go
quiet?
bury themselves. They must go bury themselves. We are not even going to give them airtime.
Hi.
They must go bury themselves. Busy telling us about law, how good the law is, and what he broke. What about the judge? Who's going to hold the judge accountable?
Hi. This is very one-sided for me. I don't see any justice happening yet on. But it's okay, we move. Guys, are you going to call in? Or should
Fine.
we?
It's fine, guys.
Should we call it a wrap?
I have an early day tomorrow. So I have to do something before I sleep. But it was nice having you guys.
It was nice hosting you guys.
it
You
was
see
nice
you next
hosting
time.
you.
Pilatiba, the journalist, did a good job. Are you sure, Pilatiba?
Whoa. Hello?
Molweni bethuna ninjani?
Awusiyaphila mfowethu, kunjani wena?
Hayi nami ndiyaphila kakhulu.
Yebo
Hey.
mfowethu.
Ndiyaniva mani niyathetha apha. Bebephi nyani yaba? Bebephi nyani
Bebekuphi?
lamagqwetha ezi-expectors. Bethe ndabukela enye interview lapha ku-702 apha ku-702. Lo andimlibele nje igama lakhe be-interview apha be-interview uThefu. Khangamnike thuba loba uThefu aphendule lo mfo lo.
Baya attack.
Hayi bem-attacker straight.
Yebo.
Khangamnike chance tu.
Sizawuthini ke? Sizawubuza thina ukuthi therefore had to do what he had to do. Uyenzile into akumele ayenze.
And ke ngoku indlela ebebuza ngayo wenza ingathi uTefu orongo kuyo yonke le nto.
Exactly. That's how they deal with you nicely. Nicely. They call you in their platform. They give you water to drink and then they joke with you. Once the camera switches on, they start attacking. Exactly the way they are mandated to attack.
Ngoku umbuzo wami uyiwani into ngoku uTefu bebembamba phaya ecourt. Why bengabizanga ubheka icele lo 702 interview ubheka icele ambuzo.
Never.
Wenze bekutheni uTefu azabanjwa kanje athe kubheka icele.
Utheusa investigator.
Namanje.
Investigating. He's investigating.
Hey, abantu bazenza clever.
Siyabonga mfowethu. Siyabonga
Yeah.
kakhulu. Ake sithi nje danki ke akekho omunye osimshiya ngaphandle. Yeah.
Hayi, singiqedelele lamakhono. Uphila Tiba uthi the journalist did a good job.
What good job, guys. What good job.
Mbomashile Tifo is bewitched shem. Ezino Hlonze, I was not quiet. And Dumas Lucas says the clever blacks without facts. Thomas also says Tifo said they are on payroll. Murray Moyo, let's deal with people who were in the house. Bongi Mangele Pilatina, which interview were you
Hello.
watching?
Oh, someone was trying to call and
You can
got
try
cut. You
call
can try
again,
call
please.
again.
Bongi Mangele says Pilatina, which interview were you watching? That was good. That was not an interview. That was a story time. And Miss Mboli.
Hello. Hello.
How's it?
We are good, and you?
I'm 100%.
Yes.
Speaking to Elias.
Yes.
Hi, Elias.
How are you? How are you there?
I'm good.
You know, I've just got the one point to make here that
Okay.
when people complete like more 10 years in the same position at work, and then you see the youngsters coming in and get promotions, and start wondering why is that happening? It's because of this interviews we just realized recently that seems like it was set of questions that you ask question A, B, and C, and you don't ask anything out of the script because it will actually be against the powers that may be. That you ask certain questions only and only those questions.
Yes.
Now, we look into this issue of this sudden interviews and media and all the shows and everything. And you look at the timing thereof. When are these things happening? I've been listening that maybe it happens because suddenly TIFO is no longer there, and now they are so concerned that TIFO is no longer part of the case. How can we find justice? And forgetting TIFO is not a judge. The judge is still there. They can do their work, and TIFO is not in the picture. It shouldn't bother them. Actually, they should be happy with the fact that he's no longer there on this particular case. That suits their case, suits their needs. Now, I'm just going to ask a question. When people go do this parade and then you have to identify the so-called criminal or perpetrators, aren't the ones who actually identify doing this under oath?
They should.
They should.
Yes.
Now, in this particular case, a person was identified earlier on in the case. It turns out this person is not the one who was washing Senzo's car, and they saw him, they know him, and all that.
Yeah.
Who got arrested for that?
No one.
Nobody.
Yes.
And it cannot just be left like that. Believe you me, these lawyers are aware of the fact that they will bring it in court. These are the few questions that could have been asked, in these fancy interviews.
Yes,
Why did you identify the wrong person? And what is happening with that? Why really? You cannot understand that. You point the person that he washed the car, and you say again, this is the person actually who tried to kill us.
And how did they draw the whole sketch now? Since that they are saying that there was mask, how did they draw the person eventually?
Bro, there's so many versions of the story coming out of one interview. Now we've got these people in a mask. They said they don't know these 5 guys at court. They never identified them. They identified the person before, and this was the guy, and then it came out it's not the person. Now the story of the mass, they haven't identified these guys. They want their day in court. So who actually has done this thing? Is it now Mandisa and Senzos' mom? Is what they're trying to give us another narrative that, okay, forget these guys are not the ones actually. Actually, Mandisa is the one.
Yeah, that's a different narrative.
I mean, there's another version of the events now. Okay, now, who would actually have killed Senzo? It's either Senzo's wife or Senzo's girlfriend. But we were not part of it. We're not into that now. The person is actually Mandisa.
The only thing they could have done wrong is cleaning the house.
I think these interviews are not doing the thing that it's supposed to be doing to convince the country that we actually are not the killers. I'm not saying they are. Don't get me wrong. But the killer is that side. It's Mandisa. We need to blame Mandisa. And it's not coming out that way.
Yeah.
You know what I was hoping for? If they are willing to actually come out to the public and say it barely to everybody, that, you know what, we know nothing about this. Come to this platform. Sit there and take questions from us. We'll ask simple questions. Why did you clean the floor? Why did you identify the guy before? Why are you concerned with this was leaving the case? Because we don't see what's happening with the
What time was Senzo short? Such questions, because we need to know what time. Tumelo is talking about 9. Around
all of a
close to
sudden
9.
we hear that I tried to put the pressure on the wound to stop the bleeding. It came up now. We never knew about this issue. So I think it's causing more damage than the actually help that they need from these interviews. And being lawyers now, they're going to poke holes into these stories because they are talking differently and they're saying freely what they want to say as if we're not listening. We are listening to everything they say. And this will come out in court one day. Maybe they should just stop it.
Yeah.
Or, yes, they can have interviews to these media houses that actually ask. These are prepared questions. You can really see. They send the questions before you ask A, B, and C and don't ask anything out of the scope. If that's not the case, then you're not actually obliged to the interviews.
Yeah.
So, personally, I feel like, they should just, I didn't listen to all these clips. I think I listened to 1.5 because I think there were about 3 of them.
Yeah.
And I got bored. I got bored, really. Because you don't see where this thing is going. And the version they train, because for me, all I can see is to bring out another version that will actually suit them in this thing.
Confuse the whole thing.
And they must just forget this is not working out. Maybe let the court deal with this thing, or it's helping the court actually to get more of the stories or incident, maybe issues that they can actually rely on,
Yes.
Because the way they're coming out, really, it's not helping them, I must say, What interview. Anyway, that is my comment to the story.
Thank you.
And
Yes, bye-bye.
Thank you.
another thing that I'm also thinking in my head is that maybe they should add these clips and show them what they said or play the recordings. You said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because obviously they're going to deny it.
Yes.
So they need to back up their evidence and put it like that for the time when they stand on that witness box, so that they don't waste any more time by contradicting further or doing what Musia was doing.
I don't remember saying that.
Allegedly.
Guys, please subscribe. Please press that like button. Let's reach that 100 like button on the live video. Please subscribe. Like. Join the membership. We will see you on the other side. Once we reach about, I think, 10. What did we say? 10?
Yeah, members. 10 members.
We are on roughly 5 or 4. So we 10. Then we are going to vacate this place. But we still love you, and we're still going to do it.
We're still going to do the lives here, but they'll be limited
until you decide to join us on the other side.
Yeah.
We love you guys.
Thank you so much for watching, and hope you have a great night and enjoy the rest of your day tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, it's a wrap.
We ended.